Hey Dad, can you explain to me how to calculate Factorial in C Sharp since I'm learning .NET?
Yes, I can explain to you. In .NET, specifically in C# language, you have different ways to calculate factorial. One of them is using LINQ. With LINQ method, you can calculate the factorial to create a sequence and then aggregate the results to that sequence. You need to use enumerable range from 1 to n to create the sequence. Then you can use the aggregate method to multiply all the elements in the sequence, and this method consists and functional programming, but it maybe is not too intuitive, if you are not familiar with LINQ. Okay, you can see one example here. When you are using LINQ, you have your function for factorial named LINQ, and this function for n equals 0, you will return 1, but if that is not the case, you will return the enumerable range from 1 to n and aggregate using the multiplication. As I told you, it's very direct, but it's not very intuitive to start. You can use method more standards, like iterative method. In this iterative method, you can calculate the factorial using a loop to multiply the numbers from 1 to n. You need to initialize the variable to 1 and loops from 1 to n, multiplying the result by the current loop index on each iteration. This method is efficient and uses a constant space of memory, but involves manually managing. Okay, in this case, in the function, you can see here how you can implement the loop from 1 to n, increase in 1 by 1 for each iteration, and you can do the multiplication here. You can continue to use different methods in C#, and one of them is the recursive method. For the recursive method, you will create a function that calls itself. If n is equal 0, you will return 1, because we know that the factorial of 0 is 1. Otherwise, you will multiply the result for the factorial, for the call to the function itself, by n minus 1. This method is very elegant and easy to understand. But remember, you can get stack overflow error for large number of n.